All right, so I'm recording it now. Sorry about that. I want to record it so we can post this up on the YouTube channel for people who weren't able to attend today. So again, the Google Meets changes have been locked in for 72 hours. It's not everything we wanted. We were hoping that when we were done a meeting that it was going to be closed out and you would not be able to gain access to it. And there was a hopeful work through with the giving you a nickname, which is why I gave you that sheet of shortcut of how to do it with a nickname. But even after the fact, with the nickname, the students were able to go back in and open that back up, or a student account was able to do that. So the meetings are live moving forward, and they're not removed yet. So I don't know what Google's going to do about that. They do know that it's a product improvement that's being requested. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. So again, just to recap, the participants aren't able to mute people manually anymore, but the presenter certainly is, or I shouldn't say the presenter, I should say the organizer. I don't know how many of you watched Good Morning America this morning, but I did send a clip of it to the principals, and I know they forwarded it out to some of the school districts regarding Zoom. I've told everybody no from Zoom about Zoom from the word go here, and the reason we've said that is because they have a data privacy issue with the state of New Hampshire that has not been solved. On top of that, they ran into some security issues, which unfortunately got made well aware on Good Morning America and the national news this morning that there was a security breach with Zoom, specifically that the FBI in Massachusetts is looking into it because some hackers were able to get into a classroom and start giving out teachers information that they were able to get through it. So we're going to avoid using Zoom, so please don't use Zoom. We are going to be using Google Meets. And one feature that we did a forced rollout for, which brings me into the next feature, Google Grid. It's Google Grid View. What it is it's an extension. And if you have, since yesterday, if you've logged off and you've logged back on, and I'm going to go ahead and present my screen to you. And we'll see how well this goes here. So up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see 4 little black boxes, kind of outlined black boxes up here. If you click on that, it brings up a Google Meet Grid View info and privacy policy and a thing that says donate to Ryan's school. This viewing platform, this Google Meet Grid, was developed by a gentleman named Ryan who works for a Louisiana school district. And his teachers were saying, I'd really like to see all of my students in a grid across the screen. So he took this, he wrote an extension quickly and released it. Turned out to be a big enough of a hit that a lot of people picked it up, and we've picked it up here in New Hampshire, and we've picked it up for you guys. And I would like to thank Jessica Jortberg, who showed this to me, sent it to me and said, hey, is this a good thing? And we were able to vet it through, and yes, it's a very good thing. So we forced installed it for everybody. So it should be popping up here. And you'll also see it once you're in Meets, you'll see it right here in this grid. And I don't know how well it's going to work with 76 people on the meeting, which is what we've got right now. So if I click on it, it doesn't necessarily flip things around, but I'm also presenting. So this is where you turn it off and on. These are the different features that you have with it. I strongly encourage you to jump into a Meets meeting with your teams, take a look at it and play with it. All of my 3 folks on the help desk are familiar with it, and they know how to work it, and they know how to turn it off and on, and know the features of it as well, because they've been playing with it with me. I have released it for staff at this point. I have not released it for students. That release is going to be tonight when I do another push on our domain. So your students should have it and should have access to it, and it should work tomorrow. If it doesn't work already, that's sometimes they Google likes to say 24 hours, but sometimes it works within one. All right. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is hotspots, a very hot topic in this district. We were able to get 20 hotspots in last week. We were finally able to get the configuration fixed on them yesterday. They are now sitting at the middle school. If you come across a student who needs a hotspot because they're not able to access the internet, give the tech support hotline a call, let them know what's going on, and they will make an appointment for a student to go pick one up, a student or a parent to go pick one up. We already have a list of 10. So those are going out right now. We're working with the counselors and the principals, and I want to thank both the counselors and principals have been great, and the secretaries of communicating with the staff and students. That has been a huge help to us in getting the technology out the door. So I really appreciate that. So thank you for that. We still have in-house devices in stock in our district. So if you find that you're dealing with students who, you've got a parent who tells you that they're sharing this device, we only have one computer in the house, that type of line, encourage them. Not that I want to get rid of all the technology in the district, but because we're certainly not getting rid of it, but I want them to have the technology in their hands. So please definitely encourage them to call the hotline, make an appointment, and pick up a device because they are definitely available. All right. See how am I doing on time? I'm trying to talk fast. Sorry. So thank you to Todd Ledoux, who helped me out the other day. We enabled a Wi-Fi parking lot. So if you're finding that you need to get out of the house and you want to respect social distancing and you want to take a drive, by all means, stay in your car. But if you pull into the parking lot on the gym side of the high school, between the gym and the SAU, we have popped a hotspot in that window, and you are now able to get school Wi-Fi while you're sitting in that parking lot. So that is up and running. And we're going to actually put an open Wi-Fi network on that for the staff and for the students, not staff. Staff, you've already got yours, but for students for their other devices, so they don't need to worry about a username and password. We'll put an open network there. Open that up during the day like we do at night for everybody. So that's also there. So thank you, Todd, for helping out for that. So we will, if we find it used a lot, we'll also put a Wi-Fi parking lot up at the elementary school and the middle school as well. But right now we're starting with the high school. A lot of people have asked me about printing and about printing at home and having students print. That's a hard no. We can't ask students to print at home, and in respect to the social distancing and the stay at home, we can't have people running in and out of buildings for print jobs. So we are going to have to find a better way to do things as opposed to hard copy and really embrace the technology, which I know we've been working on already. So I want to thank you for that. But just it's a hard no on printing. Sorry about that. We're doing a little bit better with as far as email is concerned. The numbers have dropped. We're back down into the probably about 40,000 range. We were up as high as the 80,000 range. So I appreciate that. People finding alternate ways to communicate, and especially, and I'm not going to certainly go down the counseling side of it, but even if you could do a face-to-face in a Google Meets or a Google Hangouts, to me, that's better than an email sometimes, because I think this weekend, my wife had asked me why I was still working on my computer. And I said, that's because I just got my email inbox down from 1,700 to about 900. So I appreciate a face-to-face. Especially, I understand it's a face to computer face, but sometimes that's better than firing out 10 emails. All right. And there was, Google Meets. One more thing with Google Meets that I wanted to mention. FERPA and SIPA do not allow us to record students at all. So we can do live streaming. We can do, not live streaming, excuse me. We can do Google Meets. We can do Google Hangouts, but we cannot hit that record button. The only time I hit the record button here is when I'm doing a broadcast to you folks, and I'm going to record that and put that in a public place. But I just want to warn and caution everybody, please, 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 when you are in a Meets or when you're in a Hangout with students or with anybody, be careful of the record button. Certainly when you're with students, do not record students. That needs to be said, unfortunately, because it's all part and falls back on federal law, and they haven't waived that at all. So please don't record students. And that's all I've got for now. I'm going to show you guys a sneak peek. This is not to stress anybody out. This is not to freak anybody out. I just want to show it to you because it's coming. So in your Google Drive, if you can see my screen, on the left-hand side, you can see Priority, My Drive, Shared Drives, and Shared with Me. Now, everybody has My Drive and Shared with Me, and they have computers there as well. What you don't have yet, or some of you do, most of you do not, but you will have, is this thing called Shared Drives. This is the old version of Team Drives. And this is a shared space that is always anchored right here in your Google Drive. So you don't have to go digging through hundreds of pictures or files or anything to find things. It's always anchored here. So the middle school shared drive is there. The elementary school shared drive is there. It's always anchored at the top. And as you can see, there's nothing in any of the schools because I haven't launched it to you guys yet. The IT department is sharing it. But beyond that, so that you will see pop up. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to panic about it. It will pop up and it will just be there. And then eventually you'll be able to use it. But you will get plenty of notification and plenty of how-tos on how to use it. So sorry, that's as I'm trying to formulate my thought and read and chew gum and walk all at the same time. Sometimes it's just not working. So that's it for me for the update. I'll do a couple of quick questions here. Hi, Kevin. I could mute you right now if I wanted to. Is this supposed to be active currently? So no, that the update says that you're not supposed to be able to mute me, Fiona, but apparently you can. I just had to look to make sure you didn't, because I'd be talking to myself. Lisa said you can't see my screen. I hope you were able to. If not, we'll look at the recording and do some other things. Did not work block 3 today, Dean. I'm assuming you're talking about the grid. If you want to give that with the students, give it a little bit more time, and we'll get that kicked forward with the students as soon as Google makes that final update for us. Yes, everything needs to be done in Chrome. So I'm actually working on a Mac right now as well. And I don't work in Safari. I don't work in Edge. I don't work in Internet Explorer. I work in Chrome. Everything in this district has to be done in Chrome because we are Google Apps for Education School. Every feature or every extension that we have is based off of Chrome. So Chrome all the way. Sorry about that. Jessica, you did get to work with your students. Okay. And like I said, certainly if you're having a problem with it, give the tech line a call and they'll help you get things going. So I've been recording my meets, only posting in Classroom for students. No, Sandra, we can't have you recording meets at all. If a student's face is on there, cannot be recorded. So you can't record it to post it later. We'll have to find another alternate solution for you. This is a meeting from the calendar. They get rid of that. It gets rid of it. So if we deleted the meeting from the calendar, does it get rid of it? It gets rid of it for you, Denise. It doesn't get rid of it for anybody else who is invited to that meet. So again, that is a feature request that tech directors and and tech people have requested of Google to get rid of to when the meet ends, it ends. But no, at this point, it's still there. So can you make us a practice student so we can test all these things and see them from? Yep, we can. Kristen, you actually, I know in the back of my mind, I needed to reach out to you because you emailed me. So I will reach out to you. So Jenna, what is going on with the shared drives? Will anything be automatically added from our personal drives? No, shared drives is simply a shared space, and it's going to appear in your window. That has nothing to do with your personal drive. That's only a shared space. So you don't need to worry about that. Like I said, no worries, no panics. We're not changing anything on you. Just giving you more options. What about just audio for a Google Meet? To follow up on Sandra's question, in other words, can you record your students? Audio is a hard no as well. As far as I would have to be situational, Josh, as I think through it. I'm not going to think through it all the way on my feet right now. I'm just going to say no right off the bat because of FERPA, but we may have to run through the scenario that you're thinking about. I understand. I'm just trying to figure out how you would just record audio with your kids. But again, you and I can touch base on that on after, and if we can come up with something, we'll share it with the rest of the district for sure. Our parents sent weekly summaries in our version Google Classroom. It said it needed to be specific subscription. Melissa, I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about there. So I'll take that question offline and follow up with you so I can get a better clarification. Can you record only the speaker and not the participants? Joe, yes, you can record yourself all day long. You just can't record students. Is there going to be a recording that Kenna can watch of your meeting? I thought it was at 12:45. Yes, Maureen, I am going to post this as soon as it finishes processing. It'll be up by this afternoon. And I think, I thought we were done here, and we're not. Is there going to be recording? Thank you. Purpose of a recording of dining devices in school districts? Yes. Thanks, Bill, for. Joe, I think you're splitting hairs with that one, and what I'm going to say is no. And we have to err on the side of caution because if we don't, we're opening ourselves up to too much liability. So you cannot record students. It's as simple as that. We just can't do it. It's against the FERPA law. So can we have a test student? Yes, Nicole. Yeah, we can do a test student. Let me work it out with Kristen just to make sure I know exactly what she's looking for, and then I could push that out to those who want it for sure. That's all I've got for the moment. I am going to keep working on a couple different things. If anything comes up, by all means, again, call the hotline. There's a ton of information out there right now that I'm sitting on about home internet security and cyber security. I'm trying to cull through most of it to present it to you in such a way where I'm just not burying you with things to read, because I know you don't. I don't want that, and I know you don't want that at this point. So when we've got that, it will go up on the website, so it will be there and available for reference. I think that's it. I think I'm going to take 5 minutes and go outside because the sun is actually shining, and hasn't been shining all day. So that's all I got. If anybody has anything else, feel free to unmute and ask or type it in. I'll give it a couple more minutes. And then I have a 1 o'clock. So.
Okay, I guess I have to unmute myself now.
All right, Joe.
So, like right now, could you just record yourself without any students on there?
Yeah, I actually am recording us right now. There are no students on here, and I'm recording myself.
No, but I mean, but you're recording yourself. But can other people see the participants on the side right now when it goes
in the recording?
Yes.
No, I can manipulate it where I think you'll be able to see names. You
would still get their audio though.
Yeah, you'd still get the. Again, I hate to be the guy who's the hard line on this and says no, because I do get pushback from more than you know, but we just don't want to violate the FERPA law. I think we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot more than a lot of other districts are doing. A lot of other districts aren't even letting their students do, hangouts to hangouts back and forth because they're worried about the liability. I think we've taken a pretty good, reasonable stance with it. But there's that hard line in the sand with FERPA that says you will not record students at all. So, and let the school board tell me something different, but that's, I'm going to go with that for now.
I didn't know if there was a way that person could mute everybody else and only show their face. That way it'd be like a morning greeting instead of a back and forth. So you wouldn't actually be recording any students.
At that point, they could do, ahead of time, they could do a screencastify and just record themselves and then post it out there, which honestly might be easier for some, like some of the younger grades where you've got parents who are driving the technology to get the kids to see the content. We've got, who was it? Cassie, and I forget Cassie's last name, was great. She made probably about a dozen videos and was pushing them out to her kindergarten or first grade students and parents at their own time, or we're letting them see the content on their own, at their own pace, if you will. Sorry, does that help, Joe, or hurt?
No, that helps. Not trying to get anybody in trouble here. So,
well, hi, Dean. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I got class coming. I've had Google. What are the four dots called? I've just had Google shut down twice for me on my Chromebook today. Not my internet. My Wi-Fi is fine. Also, on Google goes, I lose reception. It takes a long time for the Google, the waffle to come back up and the screen to come back up. And I've had to jump to another computer. Is that me? Is that my computer? Is that a bigger issue? Or
I'm going to go with it's a 50-50 split between the Chromebook and your Wi-Fi. So without digging into it a little bit more, I would say it's one of those two right off the bat.
All right, I've got two laptops going, and it's not happening on this HP, but it's happened to the Chromebook twice already, and happened the other day to the Chromebook.
All right. I'm going to make a note to give you a shout offline.
Okay.
And we'll talk, and we'll see how old that Chromebook is that you're using, and what.
It's old.
Yeah. Well, and see if we can get you a newer device then. Because it could be a device. So okay.
Good work. Good work. Thanks.
No problem. Can students use Flipgrid video to respond to prompts? Mr. Ramsey, I'm going to have to look into that one. I don't know that, so let me look into Flipgrid. Thanks. Purchase history, 5 more minutes of purchase on license. Sandra, if you're asking about Screencastify, yes, we have a district license for Screencastify. It's now the unlimited version, and when you log in, it should say unlimited at the top. And the comment below that is Brittany answering it. So perfect. All right. Have a great day. Enjoy some sunshine while it's here. And I will post the video, and I will post the answers to the questions that have been asked as soon as I can get them together. Thanks. Have a great day, everybody.